And they said we came, we saw, and we killed Gaddafi. So that showed that they did use UN. The UN as a front man. You know?
That's their flash grenade.
Yeah, that's their flash. They use these mercenaries as flash grenades, man. Which is the UN, Mexico, Al Qaeda, you know.
All right, read this. It says Russia opposes new Iran sanctions as regime change pretext. Global Research, no, November 9th, 2011. Russia's deputy foreign minister said Russia will not support fresh sanctions against Iran.
So, you know what I'm saying? They ain't with all that. America, you know what I'm saying? America, Britain, France, Israel, you know what I'm saying? Talking about going to war with Iran. Russia's not with that. Go ahead.
Although the report released by the International Atomic Energy Agency contains convergent information on Tehran's readiness to build atomic bombs, Gennady Gatilov said that fresh sanctions would be interpreted by the international community as a means of changing the regime in Tehran, and we find this approach unacceptable.
So they ain't with that, basically, in a nutshell.
If I could add something to that.
Go ahead.
Like he was saying that Russia ain't with that, and what the scriptures say that they shall not regard gold nor silver, because what you think they're in there for? They're in there for that black gold. It's all economic and dealing with finances, you know. So Russia ain't even worried about the oil, worried about making money. They're just like, we ain't with that. That's for the spirit of the Lord.
Get that.
Go ahead. And I seen on RT the other day that basically Russia said if Israel decided to strike Iran, that they would be sorry for it. So that's showing right there. Okay, Israel got their big brother U.S. Iran got their big brother Russia. So it's a wash. Russia got just as many nukes as America, if not more.
Well, I was reading that with that was me and you was I don't think I read by myself. It said that Iran has deep ties economically with Russia and China, and deep military ties with Russia.
Yeah.
So China and Russia is the biggest, economically the biggest the biggest bucks, you know, so to speak.
All right, because don't neither one of them use the dollar no more.
Yep.
You know, they just trade their currencies in gold.
Use that American shit for wallpaper. Wipe your ass.
This is Ezekiel 38, and I start at 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God at the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
And that's talking about turning the Russians back to those old Soviet ways. Because Russia, they was down in the 90s. But, you know what I'm saying, ever since Vladimir Putin came in, you know what I'm saying, they've been building back up, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, to that superpower level.
Yeah, talk about it.
He going for a high seat?
He's going for, they basically switching.
Yeah. So that dude ain't going nowhere.
And basically, he was running it from the seat that he was already in, the prime minister.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Medvedev, however you say it.
Medvedev.
You know what I'm saying? He was like a puppet, basically.
So now he about to really get in that power seat and start acting a donkey.
Esau, your kingdom is up, man.
You got a precept out?
I wanted to read this with Iran bucking up against them with the missiles. You see, they had a missile capability now.
Yeah.
Isaiah 14 and let's see here, let me start at 14 and 9. You know, you can read the whole chapter. That's another good chapter to read also. Isaiah 14 and 9. It says, Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee, which is talking about Esau, at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, which is the lower nations, which consists of Iran, Syria, you know, even all the chief ones of the earth. They have raised up from their thrones. So they have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Because back in the day, they could easily go and like how they used to do it, just put it on a media and say they're a national threat. If they don't get rid of nuclear missiles, it's on. And they'll just get rid of they'll stop what they're doing and bow down. But now they try to pull that with Libya, it didn't work. They're trying to pull it with Syria, it's not working. They try to pull it with Egypt, it didn't work. Even though they had to get physical. Back in the day, they didn't have to get physical. Just make the threat and they'll work. You know, now it's not working no more because them people, the dead, I'm going to read that again. It says, it stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. They had raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And I'm going to continue on. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
Right. And that's nobody's afraid of you no more, Esau. Nobody who's afraid of the big bad red man.
You ain't that big dog no more like you used to be.
Right.
Big bad wolf. Found out the wolf got asthma.
Reading on this, it says, Iran does not stand alone in the struggle against Israel, Naqabi insisted. Israel will be destroyed by the allies of the Islamic Republic if she so much as tries to attack us.
So basically, if you even try to shoot a water pistol at Iran, they gonna come and they just gonna fuck you up, man.
Nerf gun.
You know what I'm saying? Just they not playing with them. We don't need to read that part. Basically, we're gonna get into some of the comments because it's some pretty good comments on the article. Go ahead, start it.
This comment was from Shanta. It says Shanta says they will not win. Read Ezekiel.
You know what I'm saying? That sounds like the black woman. We finally found one black woman with some sense. She said, read Ezekiel. We just read Ezekiel.
Shanta.
Shanta.
So it's different.
That's a nigga.
I ain't even call her a nigga woman until she expose herself. She probably got her head uncovered. But she's still on point.
Eating popcorn shit.
Another comment is by Dennis E. And he says, it is possible there are pre-positioned sleeper agents throughout the world. The Soviets allegedly did it to perform acts of extreme terrorism and population of military centers.
That's Al-Qaeda, Mexico, because they're a sleeper. Read that again?
It says it is possible there are pre-positioned sleeper agents throughout the world.
Yeah, pre-positioned sleeper agents. Mexico, Al-Qaeda, all these people are made to, stir up shit, and so you can't point the blame on America.
But basically, I think what he's talking about the assassination attempt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we're talking about with the is this a sleeper attempt to stop? Is it somewhat more of a sleeper attempt to stop the notice of what America is doing?
Basically, he's saying it wasn't Iran. It could have been the Soviets that tried to do it. It's because they got sleeper agents all over the world.
Because Dennis will sound like an Edom.
Yeah, because I read his comments. Go ahead and keep reading on that.
It says the population is a better target because of ease of target. The country, for more security, will erode personal and civil liberties. We will become prisoners in our own homes. It seems that we are pretty close to that now.
And you want to go off with that?
Yeah.
Martial law.
Reading on, it says it is rather late in the game now to strike Iran. The Bush administration wasted a valuable opportunity to do so while the bulk of our air fleet was in the area.